Hello, welcome to Space Events. Let's see what's going on in aerospace in May. I'm sorry, I'm a few days late for this, so let's look back and see what's already happened in May. On May 2nd, SpaceX launched WorldView Legion 1 and 2 for Maxar Technologies. Launching out of the west coast from Vandenberg Space Force Base in California, these Earth observation satellites for Maxar Technologies were put into a Sun-Synchronous orbit by SpaceX's Falcon 9, a polar orbit around the poles, and the booster for this mission came back and landed at Landing Zone 4 at Vandenberg, and this is the 300th successful booster landing for SpaceX's Falcon rockets. Later that night, from the other side of the country at Slick 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida, SpaceX launched on the Falcon 9 again more Starlink satellites into low Earth orbit. The booster was also recovered, and it was a successful mission thus far. Now looking forward, there are many more Starlink satellite launches in this month. These are a high-speed satellite internet constellation built and launched by SpaceX. There are now 1,000 of these in orbit, and there are more going up in May. The boosters will always come back and be recovered to fly once again. On to the launch of the month. For United Launch Alliance and Boeing, the Starliner crewed flight test. This will be the first crewed flight from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station since Apollo 7 in 1968. NASA astronauts Sunita Williams and Barry Wilmore will launch to the International Space Station on Boeing's Starliner capsule for NASA's Commercial Crew Program. This is the program that also SpaceX launches their Crew Dragon under. The Starliner will be on top of an Atlas V built and launched by United Launch Alliance. The N22 in the Atlas V name for this mission stands for no fairing because they're Starliner. And then the 2s are 2 solid rocket motors and 2 upper stage Centaur engines. A very interesting configuration for the Atlas V, built specifically for crewed flights for NASA, opening up a second ride to space on American launch vehicles. This is definitely worthy of Launch of the Month. Next up, we're going back to SpaceX with NROL 146. This is a classified mission for the US National Reconnaissance Office, so that means we don't really know anything about it because it is, well, classified. Because it's on the west coast, the booster will come back and land on a drone ship named, of course, I Still Love You. On to Rocket Lab, launching out of New Zealand, is Ready, Aim, PREFIRE. The PREFIRE standing for this. Launching into a Sun-Synchronous orbit, these 2 CubeSats will measure how much heat is absorbed and radiated from Earth's poles. Back to SpaceX on the west coast again. Man, Vandenberg is very busy this month with the mission entitled EarthCARE. This collaboration between the European and Japanese space agencies aims to measure and characterize aerosols and clouds in Earth's atmosphere, as well as measuring solar radiation off of Earth's surface. Still at Vandenberg Space Force Base on the west coast in California is Northrop Grumman launching NROL 174 for the US National Reconnaissance Office. Like the SpaceX launch earlier, we do not know much about it because, well, it is classified, but is on top of the Minotaur 4 launch vehicle for Northrop Grumman. Alright, back to SpaceX, but this time in Texas. This is Starship's 4th integrated flight test. I will definitely have a video much more in depth into Starship's 4th integrated flight test later this month if it launches in May, of course. And this is SpaceX's next generation Starship vehicle, the largest launch vehicle ever made. Unlike Starship's first 3 flight tests, this flight profile is currently unknown. The 3rd integrated flight test was definitely a sight to behold as we saw plasma buildup and footage of it that we really haven't seen before. This will be Ship 29 and Booster 11, and they will be expendable for this launch. With the confirmed launches this month, there are links in the description if you want to look more into them. We're on to our favorite segment, Moon Time. The new moon for the month of May in the year 2024 is on the 7th, and the full moon is on the 23rd. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you next time.